section playoffs. But yeah, we're going to be doing region hockey, youth hockey this weekend, and that's going to be it. But like I said, tonight's our last high school game.
Moving in, shot on net by Luke DeLong. Just put it right on goal. Back the other way comes Denfeld, Shane, Rudenbaugh. Rudenbaugh with it in the corner, trying to move it out front and getting up to Jack Davis in front of the net here. And now back the other way comes Grand Rapids Eli Roloff. Roloff going across over to Verbeek. And his shot goes back into the far wall. Picking up is Kyle Henke. Henke works it, takes a shot towards the front of the net. And Denfeld will clear it out. Grand Rapids holds it in here, just underway here. Our junior varsity game. Denfeld's going to fire this out for icing. Well, this is going to be a little bit easier doing high school here tonight, Blake, because we over the weekend doing youth games. Sometimes the jerseys are kind of tucked in, so it's nice to be able to see the jerseys, the numbers out clearly out of their breezers here.
Yeah, we had a busy schedule of games this weekend doing youth games, especially you, Randy. You did about 6 games or so, I think, four on Saturday and you did 5 games, one on Sunday. Then I did 2 Bantam A district games in Coleraine. So yeah, it was a busy weekend of youth hockey. Fun games to watch. Some teams went home, and other teams went on to the regional tournaments.
Back is Kinky with the puck. He sends it over on the other side to Mitchell Hohen. Hohen moving it in here for Grand Rapids. Hohen with a shot right on and a save by the Denfeld goaltender. Austin Wick is their goaltender today. Dumped in by Rapids. And Duluth Denfeld trying to move it out here is picked up by number 16 behind the net, moving it back out. 16 is Andy Larson. He's on the varsity team, so got a mixture of JV and varsity team players on that team. Shot right in, and a shot and a goal that went in for Hayden Davis. Puts Grand Rapids on the board here first.
Well, it seems like we're kind of having issues with our audio right now. I'm kind of listening in on my computer here, and it seems very faint, so we'll try to figure that out. But Hayden Davis, nice rush there. He puts it in. He's been very good on this junior varsity team this season for Grand Rapids. And, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on that varsity roster next year. I think he's earned it.
So Hayden Davis getting that first goal, and I don't know, do they announce the goals here or no?
They do not for junior varsity.
So, well, you're going to get the goal scorer. We'll try to pick those up, and that's about all we're going to get here. But thanks for joining our broadcast here for tonight. Denfeld moves it out here. And turned back away by Verbeek. Verbeek back in! Shot right on! Big save for Vic there. Denfeld moves it out here. Good enough. Big save for Vic there.
Well, it sounds better now, so that's good. It was kind of faint for a while there to start the game.
Yeah, sometimes if that connector doesn't plug right in there, Austin Wick.
That was a nice play by Verbeek, though. Just about made it 2-0. Yeah, 1-0 Grand Rapids with 11:35 remaining in period 1. Grand Rapids off to a very explosive start. And shots on goal are 4-0 as well, also in favor of Grand Rapids.
Stepping in, Hohen back from Housen? Is it Housen? Housen back on the point, sending it in here for
Grand Rapids now, it's back on the other side. Provenanzi had a chance at it. Denfeld's going to clear it out. 10:59 to go here in the first period of play. Grand Rapids with the early lead, 1-0. And Grand Rapids moves it in offside here.
Well, for the varsity game tonight, Randy, it's one of the last days of the regular season for high school hockey. Usually these games don't matter too much. For Denfeld, it doesn't matter really that much. You know, they want to beat Grand Rapids. That'd be a huge win for them going into section playoffs, but they will be the number 2 seed in Section 7A. They'll play the winner of International Falls and Ely in the play-in game for Section 7A. But Grand Rapids, this is a huge game for them. I'm pretty sure if they got to win this game to get the number 1 seed in Section 7 AA, Andover right behind them in the AA or 7 AA QRF.
Right, yeah, and if they, Grand Rapids doesn't win, then they're going to be within that margin of 5 points, and then Andover will be the number 1 seed.
Well, for sure. I think if they lose this game, I think Andover would probably jump up to number 1. There wouldn't be any tiebreaker either.
They would, yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge game for Grand Rapids. I was thinking, there's some speculation that this game was going to maybe be canceled due to precautions due to COVID-19, but Grand Rapids needs this game, so they're playing it here tonight, and if they didn't play the game, they won't get the number 1 seed either with the tiebreaker.
Right. Hinkie in the corner now. Hinkie sends it back over to the point to Hausen, and Hausen sending it in, and Rapids keeps it in with Josh Asplund, sends it back in the corner, and behind the net picked up by Butterfield. Butterfield working it around, gets it back over the other point, and sent in by Hinkie. Shot right on, loose puck in front. Grand Rapids trying to pick up that rebound with Xander Butterfield out front. Rapids will send another shot on. That was coming in from Josh Asplund. And 9:06 to go here. Rapids with 1-0 lead.
Well, really good start for Grand Rapids here. They lead 1-0. Of course, Hayden Davis scored that first goal for Grand Rapids. 9:06 remaining in period 1. Now the shots on goal are 7-0 in favor of Grand Rapids. It has been all Thunderhawks so far in this one here. Duluth Denfeld still looking for their first shot on net of the game.
Yeah, Grand Rapids certainly dominating here this period number 1. First part of it. As Grand Rapids again keeping the puck in. Back in, Hayden Davis sends it back in for the Thunderhawks. Davis behind the net. Wheels around, shot on. Rebound in front. Had a chance for Asplund, had a chance at it. Now Grand Rapids will pick it back up. Behind the net, Holcomb had a chance as Rapids continues this pressure on. Puck out of play here.
Well, this game isn't just a big game on the ice. It's a big game for us. Last game of the regular season, obviously. Last high school game of the season, and probably forever, possibly. If someone takes over, Randy and I are moving on to new chapters in our life. If you haven't heard, Randy's moving down to Atlanta. His wife accepted a job there with Delta Airlines, so he's going to be moving down there in the summer, and I'm moving on to college, so at the University of Minnesota. So we're excited for our new chapters. We are sad that Up North Hockey will end after this season, but like I said, we're excited for our new chapters in our lives.
Moving it out, Roloff sends it in. There's a chance in there, Luke Dulong. Oh, it's picked up along the boards and held in by Provenanzi. Provenanzi shot right on. Deflected wick behind the goal. Grand Rapids keeps it in. Sent back in as Denfeld will try to get it out here. Now moving it out is Drew McCall. Call brings it, and Rapids picks it up. Hayden Davis bringing it back in. Now drops it off and leaves it for Roloff. Now coming back way is Denfeld with a shot over the top of the net from number 16, Andy Larson. Well, Grand Rapids picks it up, and they'll pick it up with Kyle Henke. Henke moving it back in here for Grand Rapids. Little center tries to leave it over there and take it away by Denfeld. Shane Radenbaugh. Now it's Hausen touching it, and picked up by Grand Rapids. Moved ahead by Roloff, and it comes out to center. Tipped back in by Denfeld. Drew McCall dumping it back in. 6:40 to go here in the first period of play. Grand Rapids 1, Duluth Denfeld 0. Davis coming off the bench, trying to pick that puck up, and Grand Rapids moves it back in. I don't have 2 on my roster here.
That is Caden Jacobson, number 2.
Oh. Yeah, I don't. So Jacobson centers it out front, right in front. Had Noah Salisbury out front of the net too as well, and they just couldn't make a play. Dump back in by Hayden Davis. And we got interference penalty coming up here.
It's going to be Owen Glenn heading to the box for Grand Rapids, our first penalty of the game. So a power play here for Duluth Denfeld. You know, they got to get something going here with 5:59 remaining in period 1. You know, we're about, 3 quarters through this first period now, and Denfeld needs to get a shot on net here first. Start with that, and, they're looking to tie it up here. It's only 1-0. Grand Rapids has dominated the whole game, but now they just got to settle down here on this power play and get something going.
Moving it through center was Andy Larson, moving it back in. His shot sent in. Grand Rapids will try to clear it out as held in by number 12. There's Shane Radenbaugh. Now to Larson. Larson working it back in here, trying to get something set up on this power play for Duluth Denfeld. They have 1:22 left. Larson with a shot at Raden right there, and Larson knocks in the rebound to put Duluth Denfeld on the board here to tie it up at 1 apiece on the power play.
That is a huge goal for Duluth Denfeld. They tie it up at 1 apiece with the goal on the power play there. We have 5:15 remaining in period 1. It was a quick start for them on the power play. It was, within the first minute of it. And like you said, Andy Larson scoring the goal. Larson is on the varsity roster here. I think he's 4th in points on the varsity team. I think I wrote that down. Andy Larson, the sophomore, 4th in points on this team.
Getting some JV action to warm up on this game. And he's got this game tied up at 1 apiece. Thunderhawks, as they're back in their own end of the ice, as Duluth Denfeld kind of picked up a little bit of a momentum here after this goal.
Right.
Moving it out now is Dulong. Dulong moving it back in. Dulong back along, sends it back over to Verbeek. Verbeek holding it in. Verbeek centering it out front, and Verbeek is going to pick it up again. It's picked up now by Dulong. Back in the corner is Roloff. Dulong holds it in, and it comes out to center back into the Grand Rapids end for an icing.
Well, Charles Jones asking if the varsity game is going to be streamed tonight. Yes, it will be at 7 o'clock. Duluth Denfeld, Grand Rapids. So we'll have the JV game here, then the varsity game. We'll see what happens in that game, though. It could be Grand Rapids has been known for shutting down teams. Duluth Denfeld's a very good team, especially for Class A. But last Monday they shut down Roseau. It was a 7-3 victory, but that goaltender for Duluth Denfeld, Jacob Snyder, he's a very good goaltender. So on any given night, Snyder could shut down any team. Right,
yeah, he's played well. Here comes Larson back the other way. Larson in, shot just got a piece of the goaltender and out of play.
And amazingly enough, this is our first time seeing Duluth Denfeld this season for the last game of our regular season of high school hockey. They didn't play some of the Iron Range teams like Evelyn Gilbert. They didn't play them. I don't think they played Hibbing Chisholm either. They're supposed to play them, but of course Duluth Denfeld got shut down for the first part of the season there. I think they played one game and they were shut down for 2 weeks then, and then they played, and then the other teams they played, Virginia and Greenway, those 2 games were both down in Duluth. So our first time seeing Duluth Denfeld this season.
Yeah, and when they played Hibbing Chisholm, that was in Duluth as well. So,
did they play each other eventually?
yeah, they played in Duluth.
Okay, I thought it got canceled
about 3
entirely.
weeks. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago they played.
Okay.
Shot right on by Larson, and Lagergren with the save for Grand Rapids. 3:43 left here in the first period of play. 1-1 is our score. Held in by Bulls, sends it in as Grand Rapids will move it. Picking up here is Henke behind the net. Henke sends it across ice and moved back in by Salisbury, but it's taken away by Denfeld. Now it's going to be picked up by Owen Glenn. Grand Rapids back in their own end of the ice here with it. And held in by number 37, Jack Davis. So Denfeld got that goal, and they kind of started playing better hockey here the rest of this period here.
Well, yeah, before that power play, they had 0 shots on net. Now they have 5 shots on net. They've last 4 minutes, they've been dominating Grand Rapids now after Grand Rapids dominated probably the first 10 minutes of the game.
Asplund trying to make a play, and it's Zimmer touching it, and it's dumped out by Denfeld. Now it's picked up by Davis. Davis bringing it back in here. Davis with a shot over the top of the net. Held back over on Provenzanzi, holding it in here for Grand Rapids. And we get a whistle, stoppage of play. Grand Rapids is going to go back to the PK again.
That's not what Grand Rapids wanted to do there. That's going to be number 18 heading to the box. Ethan Zimmer. That'll be a 2-minute minor for cross-checking there. So another power play for Duluth Denfeld. They're playing a lot better now here in the last 5 minutes or so. And the one goal they got was on the power play to tie it up at 1 apiece. And they got that goal pretty quick. So we'll see if they can get something going here on this power play once again.
Yeah, this is certainly a big power play for Duluth Denfeld here. Grand Rapids got to, they want to kill it off, certainly. Moving in, roll off, back in, roll off, center shot right on. Breaking out front was Butterfield in front, but Roloff took that shot, and now back the other way. Denfeld trying to tuck one in there, picked up by Davis. He'll turn it back the other way, dump it back into the Denfeld zone. 2 minutes left here in the first period of play. 1:33 left on the power play for the Hunters. There's a shot, a goal by Travis Verbeek. Scores a shorty, and Grand Rapids has a 2-1 lead.
Well, it all started with number 5, Eli Roloff. He carried the puck in the zone, and then he was fork checking pretty well for them. They were able to pick up the puck there in their offensive zone on the penalty kill. 33 seconds into that penalty. Or a shorthanded goal for Grand Rapids. But, yeah, good job by Travis Verbeek scoring the goal, and also Eli Roloff, number 5. He did a great job at fork checking there on that penalty kill.
So both teams have a power play goal, but the difference is the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks have a 2-1 lead late in our first period of play here.
And, of course, Grand Rapids still on the penalty kill for a minute 14. Minute 39 remaining in period 1. Like you said, 2-1 Grand Rapids now. Scoring the 2 goals for Grand Rapids was Hayden Davis, number 24. He scored the first goal. And Travis Verbeek, number 14, he scored the shorthanded goal just a few minutes or a few seconds ago. And then for Duluth Denfeld, scoring the goal was number 16, Andy Larson.
And the Hunters move it back out to center ice, tipped back in by Nyland. Nyland in the corner now. Nyland trying to leave it for his wingmate, and Grand Rapids trying to bring it out, and we got a penalty coming up here. Could be coincidentals at this point now.
Probably going to be coincidentals, one on each team. There was, some of the players came in and during that scrum there, but no one else really threw any punches or shoved anyone. So looks like we're just going to have coincidentals here on Grand Rapids, number 4, Mitchell Hausen, and then for Duluth Denfeld, number 29, Drew McCall. So Duluth Denfeld still in the power play here for another 48 seconds as they trail 2-1 to Grand Rapids. And we only have 1:13 remaining in our first period of play.
Grand Rapids dumps it out. Quickly in is Roloff. Roloff down there trying to take it away. Roloff gets it. Trying to go back out front, and it's sent back in towards the front of that by Provenanzi. Roloff! There's a chance. Wrapping around back of the net, and we get a whistle, stoppage of play. We got another penalty coming up here. This is going to be on Grand Rapids here.
So Roloff heading to the box. Now it's a party in the penalty box right now. There's 3 Grand Rapids players in the box and then 1 for Duluth Denfeld. So we are going to have a 5-on-3 power play for Duluth Denfeld for 26 seconds, and then another log 5-on-4 power play to end this first period, and then that's going to overlap into the second period as well.
Tipping it out was Provenanzi, and sent back in by Denfeld. Radenbaugh. Held back on the point, Fraser, sending it back in, and it's dumped out now by Grand Rapids. 30 seconds to go.
One thing to get used to when you're streaming high school hockey and youth hockey, the icings are different. Of course, you probably experienced that this weekend over at Hibbing doing the youth games. You can't ice it ever, even on the penalty kill in youth hockey.
Nope.
And, of course, I referee, too. When they first came out with that rule, it was really hard to get used to because you were always used to waving it off when a team shot it down on the penalty kill, but I'm used to it now, but actually makes it a little bit easier because every time the player shoots it down, obviously, it's going to be an icing, no matter if they're even strength or shorthanded.
Right, yeah, exactly. So that's something to get, definitely something to get used to there. So, just recapping our scoring in the first period, Grand Rapids getting it on the board first, number 24, Hayden Davis, and then Denfeld comes back and ties it up on a power play by number 16, Andy Larson, and then Grand Rapids gets the power play goal late in the period from Travis Verbeek to make it 2-1 after one period here.
It was a very good period. I thought it was going to be, just a Grand Rapids dominance. It looked like it was going to be like that for about the first 10 minutes or so, and then Duluth Denfeld got a power play, and they started turning it on. Unfortunately for them, they let up that shorthanded goal on their second power play. That was a great job by Grand Rapids, but yeah, good first period. Minute 09 remaining on the power play for Duluth Denfeld to start the second period. So we'll see if they can storm out here to start the second period and maybe tie it up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here in our second period of play. So we will step away from the microphone and we'll be back to the IRA Civic Center for the second period action. After one period of play, it's Duluth Denfeld trailing the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks 2-1.
The Rink Sports Grill in Eveleth offers casual family dining in a hockey-themed atmosphere. Try one of their daily specials or your favorites from the menu. The Rink Sports Grill offers 8 large-screen TVs and 2 10-foot projector screens, so you never have to miss a minute of the game. The Rink also offers large and small group seating with meeting areas available. full menu, limited menu, or buffet, they can cater your event, party, or meeting. That's the Rig Sports Grill at 301 Hattrick Avenue in Evelyn. Check them out today. Stop by Iron Range Apparel for all your Minnesota-themed clothing and home decor. Located in the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia, Iron Range Apparel offers lake cabin and home decor along with a large variety of apparel. Grab a hockey hoodie for the rink or a winter hat for the cold Minnesota weather. Iron Range Apparel also offers wholesale pricing and custom screen printing. Find them on Facebook and Instagram or shop online at ironrange.shop, and good luck to all the players. Minnesota Twist Drill is a proud sponsor of Up North Hockey and wish best of luck to all players on the season ahead and to have fun. For all your heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration needs in the Grand Rapids area, call Tony from Anthony's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration at 218-256-1092 or find them on Facebook at Anthony's Heating, AC, and Refrigeration, LLC. G&B Environmental specializes in proactive air and water filtration services, HVAC coil protection, cottonwood screen insulation for cooling units, UV light air purification systems, and electrostatic disinfectant spraying for COVID-19 and other contagions. Give them a call at 1-800-466-2018 or visit gbenvironmental.com. Winnie Trading Post is your one-stop shop on the way to the lake. Located 12 miles north of Deer River on Highway 46 by Lake Winnebagosh, Winnie Trading Post offers gas, food, bait, propane, and everything in between. Find them on Facebook by searching Winnie Trading Post or stop by on your next trip to the lake.
All right, back underway here in the second period of play. Grand Rapids leading 2-1. And moving it back in is Hinkie around the back of the net. He gets taken down on the play. Dulong will hold it in along the boards. And now Verbeck picks it up and knocks it back in here. Karch moving it out here for Duluth Denfeld. Karch in there for, he's playing some JV action now for Duluth Denfeld.
Yeah, another player there that's on the varsity roster. I believe he's in the top 5 for points as well, along with that Andy Larson. So yeah, just getting some 10th graders out here in the JV game, get their wheels going a little bit, and then yeah, they'll just play one period and then play all 3 for the varsity game, obviously.
So firing it out was Nyland, sends it back in, and now it's picked up by Davis behind the net. Davis trying to get it up here as taken away by Denfeld, and they're going to try to get it at center, but knocked back in by Owen Glenn. Now backhanded out, and it's picked up by Hinkie back in his own end. Sends it over on the other side to Davis. Davis sends it ahead and picks it up. Moves it back in. Now it's picked up by Butterfield. Butterfield had a chance. Butterfield now with it. And Denfeld will knock it back in the corner. Karch in there. Shot wide of the net from Hinkie.
Yeah, I don't think Denfeld has many players on the bench for this JV team. That's why they have some other players coming out to fill in.
Yeah, I think they only got like 3 players on the bench right now.
I think I see 4
and one goalie.
I think I see 4 sticks down there. Okay. 4 players on the bench, yeah. I believe.
So they got a short bench here. Karch in the corner here with it. Karch will come out with it as he's defended on the play by Asplund. Karch back in, tries to pass it over, and Grand Rapids Holcomb moves it out, and now it's moved back in by Zimmer. Zimmer with a shot right on, loose puck out front. Breaking in, Asplund had a chance, but Duluth Denfeld quickly ices a puck.
So Grand Rapids kills off that penalty there. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Still 2-1 in favor of Grand Rapids, so still a really close game here, obviously, with it being 2-1. Shots on goal are 14-5, also in favor of Grand Rapids, and we have 11:54 remaining in period number 2.
Yeah, it's big that Grand Rapids was able to kill off that penalty kill. And moving towards the front of the net was Asplund. Asplund centering it out front. Had a chance for Holcomb there with it, but Holcomb just sent it wide of the net, and now it's held back in by Provenzanzi.
I'll help you with that one. It's Provenzino.
Provenzino. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was I remember that one from Bantams, and I think I struggled with it then.
Well, an offside here against Duluth Denfeld. Stoppage of play. 11:20 remaining in period 2. Still 2-1 in favor of Grand Rapids over Duluth Denfeld. Good JV hockey game here so far.
Sent across the ice over Asplund, trying to get it out here. Is Asplund. Now it's dumped back in by Denfeld. In front was Karch. He had a chance at it. Grand Rapids will send it out with Hinkie, but not all the way out. Denfeld sends it back in. Jack Davis sending it back in deep here. 10 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the first period of play. Grand Rapids 2, Duluth Denfeld 1. Well, this might be the last time I'll be in this arena.
I was just thinking about that. I was just going to say that.
This might be my last time.
Probably so.
I don't know. I'll try to make it here for a playoff game if I can. But definitely this will be my last game doing a broadcast for Up North Hockey in this arena. Lots of good memories in this arena, Blake. Over the years.
From last season, we had Grand Rapids had a very good team last year. We did a lot of good games. It was it's unfortunate for this Grand Rapids team this year. Last year, pretty much every game it was fully packed, pretty much full capacity. A couple seats open here and there, but Duluth East, Grand Rapids last season, very good hockey game, a great atmosphere. Hermantown Grand Rapids, that was probably the best Grand Rapids game we did last year here at the IRA Civic Center. But the one game that was there's a backhand shot there by Travis Verbeek. Probably the most memorable game from last year for me had to be that Minnetonka Grand Rapids game. My first game doing play-by-play ever. You were not here. We were doing a doubleheader that night. I believe Hibbing was playing Virginia over in Hibbing. So I rushed over there for that one after the Minnetonka Grand Rapids game. But that game was probably one of the better games I saw all season long last year. It was, it was in the first week or so of the season, and Grand Rapids won the game in overtime. But there was a lot of drama in that game. With 1 second remaining, Minnetonka tied it up in the third period there. Like I said, with 1 second remaining, and then Grand Rapids they come back in that overtime, and Joey Del Greco scored that game-winning goal for the Thunderhawks. So that was definitely a very memorable game there.
Yeah, that was a fun game to remember as Davis brings it back in here and held back. And Verbeek had a chance out front right along the doorstep, but not able to get it through. And Provenzino sends it back in. We get a whistle stoppage of play. We got a couple players are going to be coming off the ice for
oh boy,
a penalty. We get some pushing after the whistle here now. So I think
it's going to be 3 Duluth Denfeld, or 2 into the box actually. Grand Rapids was actually on the power play here. But
so it should be 5-on-3 then, I think.
Well, actually, no. I think it's going to be. It's still going to be a 5-on-4.
Yeah,
those
it's
two.
still going to be 5-on-4. Yeah.
Yep. So 2 players for Grand Rapids in the box, 2 for Duluth Denfeld. It's all going to be, they're both going to be coincidentals, but that's tough to see, though. I mean, I thought the situation kind of got calmed down there, and then just unnecessary penalties for both sides. Very, very unnecessary.
Yeah, things kind of got spiraled out of control for a minute there, but both teams are hopefully back ready to go here.
And just a reminder, this is the last JV game of the season. So
this will be the last JV game because now it's.
And if you don't know what I'm trying to get at, my first or last hockey game ever, I played JV. It was a couple years ago over in Coleraine. It was the last JV game of the season, and after the game, a big fight broke out.
Yeah. Let's hope it doesn't. Hopefully, it doesn't happen that way here tonight.
Yep, that was my last game ever. I played since I was a mite and ended on that game. So. You never know with these JV games, though, especially when it's the last JV game of the season.
And racing for the puck back in to get it is Dulong back behind the net. Now it's taken away by Karch. Karch going back to center ice, and that's going to go back into the Denfeld end.
That should not be an icing there.
And they called it an icing. I don't know.
Should not be an icing there.
Not sure.
What happens? That happens. I'm sure I've done that before reffing, but calling it with the other team.
Right.
the other team shot up to their blue line, and the defenseman doesn't catch it. But that one was
move it
pretty.
back out to center
Yep,
ice. Yeah.
that one was pretty obvious, though.
Yeah. Well, that one. Yeah, I can see. I mean, I can see how that happens. You know, for us to sit here and see it, it's a lot easier. But you know, when you're on the ice and the game's moving that fast, it's not always easy to see where those puck shots come from, right? So definitely a different perspective from the Crow's Nest versus being on the ice and live action. Moving back in Grand Rapids, chance out front by Hausen. And Denfeld Karch brings it back the other way. Dumps it back behind the net, picks up by Jacobson. Now centering out front, and we get a whistle stoppage of play. Another penalty coming up here with 8:24 to go here in the period.
I'm just going to say, though, that was a nice play by the goaltender, Zach Lagergren. Looked like it was going to go right out to number 29 on Duluth Denfeld, Drew McCall right in front of the net there. And Lagergren was able to block it, preventing that pass. But, yeah, now McCall is heading to the box now. Probably some kind of roughing or interference. It
was a roughing penalty.
So a power play here for Grand Rapids now for another 2 minutes. Still 2-1 Grand Rapids with 8:24 remaining in period 2.
Yeah, closely battled JV game here. Hausen sends it back over to Jacobson. Jacobson sending it in. Now behind the net. Grand Rapids keeps it in with Dulong. Dulong going back to the point. Centering out front from Hausen and just couldn't get the shot away. Denfeld will get it up. Jacobson back in there to pick it up. And quickly dumped back in by the Hunters. Garrett Frazier sending it back in here. 7:50 left here in period number 2. Grand Rapids having the 2-1 lead over Duluth Denfeld. Moving back in is Hausen. Hausen back in the corner, shot from the side by Roloff. Davis sends it over on the other side over to Dulong. Dulong dumping it back in. Picked up by Glenn, back to Davis, back to Glenn. Glenn with a shot on wide of the net, but goaltender holds on to it. Austin Wick.
That's weird. 2 of the players are coming out of the penalty box, but there's still 2 players in the box for those coincidentals. You would think all 4 of them would have came out here right now.
So now we have new goaltenders in. Grand Rapids in the goal, Miles Gunderson, and number 34 for Duluth Denfeld, Peter Smith now in goal. Both goalies changing at the same time there, Blake.
Yeah, that was weird. You know, halfway through this second period, from most of the JV games I've seen, though, I haven't seen the goaltender switch too often, but I guess they both decided to switch it up here in the final JV game of the season.
Moving back in, Henke has a chance and gets knocked off the play, and Denfeld will knock it out.
But, getting back to my point, I don't know why those 2 players in the penalty box from those coincidentals aren't out here right now. I don't get that.
Well, they might have been 10-minute misconducts.
They could be.
Yeah.
Probably are. I would say they're probably, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, one of those 2.
Shot just wide of the net by Zimmer, had a chance there. Now it's picked up by Zimmer again. Zimmer back and in front. Shot and a goal by number 19, Kyle Henke, to put Grand Rapids up 3-1. Nice play set up by Zimmer.
Yeah, it's good to see Kyle Henke get a goal here. He's kind of had a tough season with, he was shut down for a while. He had COVID during the season, halfway through the season, so he got shut down there. To start the season, he was, in the lineup for the varsity team once in a while, and he played a couple games for Grand Rapids on the blue line, defense or one of the defensemen. So it's good to see him get a goal there. It's taken him a while to get going. Like I said, he's coming off a COVID. He had COVID for 2 weeks, and then it's just taken him a while to get going after that. And he also got hit pretty hard about a week ago in one of the games. So he's had a couple health problems here this season.
Right. Yeah, it's certainly good to see him back on the ice as well. Jacobson's going to have to go back into his own end of the ice to pick this up. 5:44 left here in the second period. Denfeld with the trailing 3-1 to Grand Rapids. Jacobson centering, getting it out up to Holcomb. Holcomb moving it back in here. Holcomb trying to skate in, shot, and big save by the Duluth Denfeld goalie, Peter Smith.
I thought that puck was in there for a second.
Yeah, it looked like he tucked it in at the end there, but
yeah, that was a very nice play by Eli Holcomb, rushing the puck up, put a very nice shot off. But like you said, yeah, the goaltender ran a very nice save there. That was Peter Smith with the big save for Duluth Denfeld, keeping it 3-1. 3-1 Grand Rapids right now. 5:15 remaining in period 2.
Asplund trying to hold it in. Davis with it now, and Denfeld picks it up. Radenbaugh sending it back in, and Davis will get it out, and Denfeld's going to pick this up and knock it back in with McGivlery. Along the boards, Asplund, and now it's shot in from the point. Doesn't get through traffic. Grand Rapids will clear it back out with Holcomb. Now Karch with it. Now Davis brings it back out, knocks it back into the Denfeld end. McGivlery sends it ahead, and it's picked up by Jacobson. Jacobson moving it back to Hausen up front to Asplund. Asplund with a shot. His shot goes wider than that. Jacobson in the corner, and it's picked up by McGivlery. And dumped back in by Hausen. It's going to be an icing on the Hunters with 4:02 to play in the second period. Grand Rapids 3-1.
Well, Randy, there's a couple players out here on the ice right now that will be competing in the national tournament for Tier 1 down in Dallas, Texas at the end of April. Hayden Davis, number 24. He's on that Blue Ox team. Sam Karch, number 15. Along with Blaine Mortensen on the Grand Rapids varsity team. And a couple Bantams as well. Bauer Murphy and Kyler Miller on the Bantam AA team here in Grand Rapids as well. So a lot of players in these, more so Grand Rapids, but on the ice playing on that Blue Ox team, playing in this JV game right now.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun tournament for those kids to be down in Dallas, Texas, and a little warmer weather, and maybe get a chance to, see a baseball game, Texas Rangers baseball game, or a Dallas Stars game down there as well.
Well, did you hear that the Texas Rangers are allowing full capacity at their MLB games at home this season?
Yeah, and that's going to be fun because they're in a brand new stadium there in Dallas, down in the Dallas area. Out in I was going to say Irving, and that's not right.
Arlington.
They're in Arlington, right?
But, of course, they beat Shattuck St. Mary's in that championship game back in October, I believe it was, and that was a big win for them. They had to come back in the game. I believe they were trailing in that third period, and they were able to come back and win that game. And, yeah, that was a huge victory for them. It was originally supposed to be in the national tournament was originally supposed to be in San Jose, but they moved it to Texas. But, yeah, that was a very exciting victory for these kids.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun event, fun tournament for them once again. Davis sending it back in for Grand Rapids. We have 2:18 left here in period number 2. Davis with it. Davis with a shot right on. Save. Picked up, and Davis gets it back with a pass from Glenn. Now back behind the net, moving around as Roloff. Roloff out to Davis, and Davis with a drive right on, save by goaltender Peter Smith. Grand Rapids putting on all kinds of pressure now here late in this period, but Peter Smith has made a couple big saves here for the Hunters. Karch back in the corner. Jacobson trying to pick at it, and it's knocked out. Back over on the other side. Radenbaugh. Back to the point and fired in, but blocked. Jacobson has it. Jacobson moving it back out over to Salisbury. Salisbury back to Jacobson. Couldn't keep the play going, but knocked back in by Hausen, back into Jacobson. Jacobson will walk it behind the net. Taken away by Bulls. And now it's picked up by Karch. Karch is going to bring it out here for the Hunters. Got less than a minute to go here in the second period of play, and it's dumped in by Nick McGilvery. Salisbury, and now it's picked up by Zimmer. Zimmer moving it back in here. Now McGilvery moves it back out here for the Hunters. 30 seconds to go here. And we got a penalty coming up here against Duluth Denfeld. Moving it back in, Holcomb. Denfeld touches. Lots of penalties in this game.
Yes, lots of penalties. Just about through 2 periods of play, 22 seconds remaining in period 2. But, well, we have the time here, and as we were talking about this possibly being your last time here at the IRA Civic Center, I'm sure you've seen a lot of hockey games here. Of course, back in the day, all the section games were either in Hibbing or Grand Rapids for Section 7. So what was your favorite memory here at the IRA Civic Center?
I don't know. One of the times I think was when I was manager for the Broncos. We came in here and won a game here.
Regular season or section playoffs?
No, it was playoffs. It was against Hibbing in my senior year. We were playing Hibbing, and we won the game 6-5 in the semifinals to go into the finals.
Oh wow!
To play Grand Rapids in the finals that year. Played Grand Rapids back-to-back. 89, we beat Grand Rapids which was a huge upset. And then 90, they turn around and we play Grand Rapids again, and Grand Rapids spanked us pretty good.
And, of course, you got to see Greenway and Grand Rapids play here a couple times. A couple years ago, I was kind of watching videos a couple weeks ago from that game, and there was no area open.
Oh.
The whole place was packed.
Thank you.
The whole place was packed. There was not a seat open. So those were definitely some good memories for you, Greenway, Grand Rapids. Of course, they don't play this year. We saw them play over in Coleraine last year. But, yeah, there's been a lot of hockey history here in Grand Rapids and here at the IRA Civic Center.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about some of those memories here tonight in our JV game, or during our varsity game here tonight. Kyle Hinkie gets that only goal for Grand Rapids, or the only goal of the second period. So, yeah, that's all I got, Blake, unless you got anything else to add here before we go to break.
No, we'll take a break here. Another resurface. They do 2 resurfaces during JV games here in Grand Rapids. So, yeah, we'll step aside here. Once again, 3-1 Grand Rapids over Duluth Denfeld in this junior varsity matchup. And then Grand Rapids will have a power play for 1:38 to start the third period of play. So we'll take a break here, and we'll be back. You're watching junior varsity hockey on Up North Hockey. The Rink Sports Grill in Eveleth offers casual family dining in a hockey-themed atmosphere. Try one of their daily specials or your favorites from the menu. The Rig Sports Grill offers 8 large screen TVs and 2 10-foot projection screens, so you never have to miss a minute of the game. The rink also offers large and small group seating with meeting areas available. Full menu, limited menu, or buffet, they can cater your event, party, or meeting. That's the Rig Sports Grill at 301 Hattrick Avenue in Evelyn. Check them out today. Stop by Iron Range Apparel for all your Minnesota-themed clothing and home decor. Located in the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia, Iron Range Apparel offers lake cabin and home decor along with a large variety of apparel. Grab a hockey hoodie for the rink or a winter hat for the cold Minnesota weather. Iron Range Apparel also offers wholesale pricing and custom screen printing. Find them on Facebook and Instagram or shop online at ironrange.shop, and good luck to all the players. Minnesota Twist Drill is a proud sponsor of Up North Hockey and wish best of luck to all players on the season ahead and to have fun. For all your heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration needs in the Grand Rapids area, call Tony from Anthony's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration at 218-256-1092 or find them on Facebook at Anthony's Heating, AC, and Refrigeration, LLC. G&B Environmental specializes in proactive air and water filtration services, HVAC coil protection, cottonwood screen insulation for cooling units, UV light air purification systems, and electrostatic disinfectant spraying for COVID-19 and other contagions. Give them a call at 1-800-466-2018 or visit gbenvironmental.com. Winnie Trading Post is your one-stop shop on the way to the lake. Located 12 miles north of Deer River on Highway 46 by Lake Winnipegosh, Winnie Trading Post offers gas, food, bait, propane, and everything in between. Find them on Facebook by searching Winnie Trading Post or stop by on your next trip to the lake. All right, welcome back, everyone. The final period of play is underway from the IRA Civic Center. 3-1 in favor of Grand Rapids over Duluth Denfeld in this junior varsity matchup. And with your once again with your play-by-play call for the final period of play, Randy Catron for this junior varsity matchup.
Moved back in by Verbeek. No, Verbeek with it and sends it to Roloff. Roloff moving it around now. Roloff sends it over to Davis. Davis just off the front of his stick. Behind the net, now picked up by Brennan. Another varsity player that's out on the ice here for Denfeld in this third period. They're rotating 3 different players from their varsity team out there.
What player is that?
This is 44 now, Don Brennan on the
Okay.
ice for Denfeld, and he's one of the their third. He's their third pairing of D for the varsity game here. In offside, 3-1. Our score: Grand Rapids over Duluth Denfeld with 13:45 to go here. Third period of our JV game.
Well, for the varsity game, this will also be your first time seeing Grand Rapids and Duluth Denfeld, or for both of us, first time seeing Duluth Denfeld. But yeah, like I said, your first time seeing Grand Rapids here tonight. The number 4 ranked team in the state in Class AA.
Moving back in, shot right out front for Grand Rapids. That was number 10, Noah Salisbury. Now it's picked up by Hausen, bringing it back for Grand Rapids. And dumped out, but not all the way out. Grand Rapids holds it in. Hausen sending it back behind the net. Centering out front, and Hausen will not keep it in. He was in offside, but Denfeld moves it back out. Caden Postal getting some action here in this JV game too as well for Denfeld. Dumped back in offside here is the call. Grand Rapids moving it back in. Glenn knocking it back in, and Denfeld will move it out with McGilvery. Now it's dumped in, shot right on Gunderson, and a save shot coming in from Logan Nyland for the Hunters.
Surprised Miles Gunderson hasn't played more JV games this season. Of course, he's the backup to the starting goaltender, Wyatt Pilkington, on the varsity team. But after this year, Pilkington's a senior. It's going to be the Miles Gunderson show in net for the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. Miles, I would say, is going to be the starting goalie here.
But it's really have to have been tough for him though, because he played one varsity game against Moorhead. He got the win there. But besides that, he's only played 1 or 2 JV games. So, it's got to be tough to not play in games that often. But of course, you want him. Let's say something happens to Wyatt Pilkington. You got to have him on the bench though. Fresh, and you can only play 4 periods, of course, in high school hockey.
Right. Yeah. You got to have. Just in case that
I think
you
the
need
same
an extra goalie.
Does the same rule apply to goalies for that rule?
Yeah, it's the same.
So let's say you're a smaller
I
program.
believe it. I believe it is, unless there's a different ruling for goaltenders, but I think it's the
Yeah,
same.
let's say your program only has, Greenway. They only have 2 goaltenders in their whole high school program. So let's say, Ethan Ambule, he's playing all the JV games. Let's say Nathan Jurgensen gets hurt, and then, Greenway would be screwed because, Ambule already played 3 periods in the JV game. So, but there probably is some, a special ruling for goaltenders when it comes to that rule.
Yeah, when there's an injury, then I think they might have a.
Well, I think
they might have some kind of a ruling for that.
I think last season the Evelyn Gilbert area girls team only had 1 goalie left. One of the goaltenders were injured. I think Rachel Woods once played six periods in one night.
Okay.
But I'm not totally sure, but I believe that happened.
Nolan sending in a message. He wishes that we did more games in Duluth. Well, we wish we could too, Nolan. That's all I'm going to say. Just going to leave it right there. It's my last game on Up North Hockey, but I'll just leave it right there, okay? So,
well, you would think someone.
if I ever meet you in person, Nolan, I'll tell you why. But I won't say it over the air. Moving it out here.
You would think someone would have taken over the Duluth area, though.
Shot and a goal by number 44. Coming in here in this third period, Dom Brennan has put the Hunters within 1 goal with 10:22 left. Still a lot of time left here in this JV game.
Yeah, 3-2, like you said, 10:22 remaining in period 3. Duluth Denfeld, I mean, as we were talking about other stuff,
Yeah.
Duluth Denfeld was buzzing there.
They were.
There.
And we're talking. And,
I was just, yapping away, and there's, numerous opportunities where they almost scored, and they finally get one there to make it get within 1 goal.
Denfeld playing well here in this third period of play to start out.
Yes, they've come to play here in the final period of play.
But that's when you come to play third period down by 2. That's a dangerous lead to have, 2-goal lead. Most dangerous lead in hockey, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of teams feel really comfortable going into the third period with a 2-goal lead. That's why it's so dangerous, because you play really comfortably, and it's still a close game. They pop 1 goal and they have the momentum, and they're only down by 1 goal then. And of course, when you have a 1-goal lead, you're not as comfortable, because if the other team scores a goal, you're tied up then. So teams play with a little more urgency with a 1-goal lead, but not as much with a 2-goal lead.
Back in the corner, Hausen with it, gets it over to Jacobson. Jacobson sending it through the middle of the ice, and it's held in by Grand Rapids. Now they're moving in Salisbury. Now it's out at center ice. Picked up by Jacobson. Jacobson moving in to Salisbury. And there's a chance down low. Trying to break towards the front of the net was Butterfield. But Denfeld able to get it out and back. Rapids sends it back in from Provenzino. Over on the other side, Denfeld moving it ahead. Back in, and it's going to be picked up by Provenzino. Gonna move it out, and we'll tip back in by the Hunters. Radenbaugh. Now Davis behind his own net. 8:46 to go here in the third period of play. 3-2 Rapids over the Hunters.
Well, I just got a message in here. The goaltender in net is not Miles Gunderson. It's actually Gavin True.
Oh, yeah. I see. They got two. They have 2 number 30s on their JV roster here.
But yeah, I figured it.
That would make sense, right?
Yeah, I thought.
Shot and a goal by number 18. Sorry about that, Blake.
That's fine.
Zimmer with the goal, putting Rapids back up by 2 again here.
That's 2 in a row for me now, talking over your goal call.
Yeah, you get big things happen when you start talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I was surprised to see, obviously not Miles in net. We thought it was Miles Gunderson in net, but I was surprised to see if it was Miles, I was surprised to see him go out there. So that makes more sense. Gavin True in net, the sophomore goaltender.
So dumping it back in. And Jacobson will send it out, back out to center ice. And now it's picked up by Regis, and now turned away by the Thunderhawks, skating back in Zimmer right away after that last goal here.
That's going to be a high stick on Ethan Zimmer there. He's going to be heading to the box for 2 minutes. So power play here for Duluth Denfeld. They trail by 2 goals again, 4-2. That was a big goal for Grand Rapids, though. They only had the 3-2 lead. Just a minute ago or so they got that goal. So like I was saying, they only had a 3-2 lead, and they were able to retake their 2-goal lead, which was huge. And now, like I said, power play here for Duluth Denfeld now trying to claw back in this game.
Shot the goal from the point. Sent in again by number 44, Dom Brennan, his second goal of the game.
Well, just like that, 7 seconds into the power play for the Hunters, they get back within 1 goal, 4-3, Grand Rapids. We're back to where we were about 2 minutes ago or so.
Yeah, that 1-goal lead again now for the Thunderhawks. Brandon's got 2 straight here in this third period. He's having quite a coming in here in this third period and having a good period. Davis sends it over on the other side, over to Provenzino. And now trying to move it out was Dulong. Moved back in by Denfeld. And now it's picked up and moving it out. This time it's Dulong. Dulong moving in. Dulong sends it back in the corner. Denfeld will send it back over on the other side. Radenbaugh. Radenbaugh picks it up and moves it back in here. Davis. Over to the other side to Dulong. Now Provenzino sends it back over to Davis. Davis moving it ahead. Breaking in. Nice little pass play there. Shot from Dulong. And save for number 34, Peter Smith.
That was a huge save by Smith there. Nice glove save. Also a very nice shot by number 16, Luke Dulong. So, well, Randy, 6:41 remaining in period 3. 1-goal lead for Grand Rapids, 4-3. Shots on goal are 25-11, also in favor of Grand Rapids.
I thought he was gonna score there too, because you were.
I was talking, so yeah, I thought so too.
Radenbaugh had a chance there, just sent it wide of the net. And Davis is going to send it back out here. Now it's picked up. Moving back out, Brennan back in. And now it's taken away by Grand Rapids roll-off. Now Denfeld gets it back. Davis sending it out, and it's picked up by Jacobson. 5:58 to go here in regulation time in the JV game. Grand Rapids 4 and Duluth Denfeld 3. Moving back in, shot goes wide of the net. Sent in back on the point there by Owen Glenn, just over the top of the net. And it's picked up by the Hunters. Moving around is Caden Postal and Brennan, both varsity players, getting some action here in this third period of play. Now it's picked up by Jacobson. Jacobson moving it back in along with number 10, Salisbury. Dumped back in by Hausen, and that is offside is the call.
Well, we would like to thank 90 Degree Media for building our website, upnorthhockey.com. Make sure to go check that out. All kinds of stuff on there. We have our schedule up for this weekend for the PWA and Bantam AA North Regional tournaments in Virginia and right here in Grand Rapids. Also on that website, we have a PayPal link. So if you're looking to donate money through PayPal, that's on our website, upnorthhockey.com. Also, we have Venmo with the username being Up North Hockey. Once again, Venmo Up North Hockey.
Yeah, for the region tournaments this weekend, we will be posting our schedule on our Facebook and Instagram pages as well. Once we have that determined, the PWA regional over in Virginia, we'll start broadcasting that at 4 o'clock on Friday will be our first game, and then we've got some games Saturday and a bunch of games Sunday for you too as well over there. So. And
same here in Grand Rapids. I'll be doing the Bantam AA North Regional Tournament. I'll be doing the 4 quarterfinal games on Friday, the 2 semifinal games on Saturday, and then also the championship game and second seed game to go to the state tournament on Sunday. Once again, that schedule can be found on, our social media platforms and upnorthhockey.com. Boy, lots of big hits here. Last few seconds.
And there's going to be a penalty, too.
Yep. Duluth Denfeld here. Heading to the box will be number 12 on Duluth Denfeld, Shane Rendenbaugh. That'll be a 2-minute minor for roughing or interference, one of those two. And Grand Rapids wants to get that 2-goal lead back. They lead 4-3 over Duluth Denfeld. 3:56 remaining in period 3. Time is ticking down here in this JV game, so should be a very interesting 4 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, definitely could be that here. And there's a trying to tip it in backhander shot from Verbeek, but wasn't able to get it in. Now comes back to Hunters. Hunters trying to move in with Caden Postal. He gets taken out on the play. Well, that's true. Sent in, back on a point, shot, a goal from number 4, Mitchellhausen. Puts Grand Rapids up by 2 goals.
That was an absolute snipe by number 4, Hausen. Power play goal for Grand Rapids. They once again retake that 2-goal lead. They lead 5-3 with 3:08 remaining in our final period of play. And the shots on goal update 29-12, also in favor of the home team, Grand Rapids.
Denfeld knocks it behind the net, picked up by Davis. Davis going over to Provenzino. Now comes out to center ice, moving it back in is Holcomb. Holcomb, we got a delayed penalty coming up here. And more pushing and shoving.
We're going to have a couple penalties here. They call the penalty on Duluth Denfeld, then Eli Holcomb got hit really hard there. That was probably an elbow there or, something like that. So, then a couple pushing and shoving after the whistle there. Could have been worse, though, I think. But, Grand Rapids will probably get a penalty here, too, as well, possibly. Maybe not. There will be 2 players in the box for Duluth Denfeld here. So it might very well be 5-on-3, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. Well, we'd just like to give a shout out to Drew Kuschel, the Grand Rapids student manager, for providing us with line charts for the game. Grand Rapids, they have very nice line charts. He does a really good job with them. So, once again, thanks to Drew Kuschel, also the Duluth Denfeld coaches for providing us with their lines as well for Randy for his play-by-play for the varsity game. So we thank both teams for their hospitality.
Yeah, I wish we could hire Drew Kushel to come to all our games with us, make line shirts for both teams.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Of course, actually, Drew Kushel isn't the only manager this year. Grand Rapids has 3 managers. I believe Drew was maybe the only one last year. I'm not totally sure, but they also have Nick Langloy and Jens Kaldal, 2 other managers for Grand Rapids.
Yeah, managers very important part of the hockey teams as well. They have a very busy schedule as they have a lot of administration duties to do as well.
And of course, your favorite manager, probably from the last few years, was back in 2017. The Grand Rapids manager at the state tournament in 2017. He had the big long flow and the yellow flow, and then the cowboy hat. You said you liked that one.
Shot wide of the net by Zimmer, had a chance. Mackenhausen, right? Was Mackenhausen? That might not be right though either.
The manager?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure about that. But
yeah, definitely was the moment of the day when he took off his cowboy hat and he flung his hair back in front of 19,000 people at the game at the XL Center that first night.
And of course, he made the all hockey hair team video as well.
MVP as far as I'm concerned of that tournament. By far. MVP. Picked up now by Jacobson behind the net. 1:14 to left here in the third period of play. Grand Rapids holding that 2-goal lead. 5-3. Jacobson moving in. Jacobson centers out front. Nobody home. Davis will pick it up here. Davis will send it back in. Moved back in by Butterfield. And now shot on goal. And out of play.
Well, 52 seconds remaining in this game here. 5-3 Grand Rapids. Looking to seal the deal here in this junior varsity matchup, looking to win their final game of the season. There's 14. Grand Rapids has a power play right now for another 10 seconds here. So, yeah, once again, 5-3 Grand Rapids over Duluth Denfeld.
Davis holding it in here for Grand Rapids. Davis behind the net, centering out front for number 12, Butterfield, and a big save for Peter Smith right in front of the net as that shot coming in there.
Well, the penalty benches have emptied again. No one in the penalty box. Duluth Denfeld back at full strength, and we'll have 5-on-5 hockey here for the final 37 seconds.
Move around by Brennan. And Grand Rapids is going to keep it in here with 27 seconds to go. Touched by Asplund. Asplund moving around. Asplund dumps it back in the corner and it's picked up by Brennan. Brennan fires it around. And Davis sends a shot on, tipped in front. A little tip off number Salisbury's stick, but saved by Peter Smith.
Yeah, it was either Salisbury or Butterfield tipping that. I'm not totally sure. I thought it was Butterfield, but that was a beautiful tip and a big save. I mean, a really nice save by the goaltender, Peter Smith.
And that's going to do it here for our JV game. In that third period, Grand Rapids gets the first goal of the period. Goal coming from Kyle Hinkie, the single assist on that goal, Ethan Zimmer. And then Grand Rapids comes back and gets that goal from number 18, Ethan Zimmer. 2 goals for Duluth Denfeld in that period, scored by number 44, Dom Brannon. And then Grand Rapids adds one late in that third period Mitchell Hausen getting that goal. Final score here, Grand Rapids 5 and Duluth Denfeld 3.
Well, we have the varsity game coming up here on Up North Hockey. Good JV game here. It was physical. It was intense. It was a close game, 5-3 final, Grand Rapids. So we'll see what happens for the varsity game. It could be close. It could be lopsided. You never know. We'll have to see. You know, very good goaltender for Duluth Denfeld. They have a very nice team. Grand Rapids has been very good all season long, though. They have a 11-1-1 record. 13-1-1 record actually on the season. So they've been playing very good hockey all season long. Duluth Denfeld, like I said, very good goaltender Jacob Snyder, and younger team but very talented players on that team as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. They definitely have some younger talented players on that team, and Jacob Snyder is a very good goaltender for the Hunters as well.
Well, that's it for me. I'll let you finish it out, Randy.
Well, final score here in our junior varsity game. Grand Rapids gets the 5-3 victory over Duluth Denfeld. We'll start a brand new stream for our varsity game coming up here. Again, that game starting at 7 o'clock. We'll start our stream during the warm-ups or just a little bit before that. So stay with us for Grand Rapids hosting Duluth Denfeld from the IRA Circuit Center coming up next here on Up North Hockey.